This is Robert Demers for Conman here at Comikaze, and I'm here with Rick Farmiloe, animator for many of your favorite Disney films. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. The convention's been treating you all right?
So far, so good. It's early though. It could go bad. Who knows? But no, it's fun. It's good so far.
You've done so many animations for so many films. A lot of times with so many animators working on one particular film, they just all pitch in. What particular scenes in films like the Little Mermaid or Aladdin that you personally worked on?
I worked on, I did Scuttle, so I did some of the very beginning stuff when you first see him. He's looking through the telescope, and he's like, hey, mermaid on the port bow, all that stuff where he jumps down off the crow's nest and falls in, goes through his bag. I did all that stuff. I did the stuff with the fork where he does his hair and he pulls it and it goes really big. Does it like spaghetti. Did that. I did the stuff where he sees the sea witch in the. I'm giving away the plot. I think I just did. Anyway, he sees the sea witch disguised as the girl, making her plot near the end of the movie. And he's like, the sea witch, and he slams into the boat. A lot of funny, just sort of gag stuff like that. I did Scuttle in the Kiss the Girl sequence, where they're trying to get Eric to kiss Ariel. I did pretty much all of Scuttle in that. So,
what was it made you want to get into animation?
You know what? I don't know specifically what it was. I think when I was really little, I remember seeing Sword in the Stone when it first came out, which tells you I'm really old. I saw a reissue, thank God, of Pinocchio, and I think those two films I remember thinking I don't know what that is or how you do that, but I want to do that. I don't even know what it's called, but I want to do that kind of. So as soon as I saw this movie, I'd go home and start drawing. So I knew I wanted to do something in cartoons, whether it was maybe a comic strip or animation, but really animation is really what I want to do. So I was really little. I must have been like 7 or 8 when I said, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to do it. I want to do it, So pretty early.
A lot of work goes into animation, especially before computers got really involved.
Right.
How long did it take to make a scene like what you did with your work on The Little Mermaid?
You talking about a particular scene?
Your work entirely, your portion of it.
The animation process, it takes a few years.
Yeah.
But I think strictly animation, I believe it was about a year of strictly just animation for like a solid year. And then there was the follow-up, the cleanup, that followed our animation, and then it went into color. So I think about a year, I think, of just animation. I went about 3 or 4 years though total, from the beginning to end.
A lot of the films you worked on are beloved by so many today, and new people just keep on watching. And what does it mean to you that these are the types of movies that parents show their children and enjoy together?
As it goes on year after year, I feel older and older because the people keep coming up to me and they're about my age and said, I saw that when I was a kid. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're not that much younger than me. No, it actually means a lot to me, because it's funny because when we did these movies, we just wanted to make a good movie. We didn't think I promise you, we did not think about this is going to last for many years after we're done, dead or whatever. But it's like, just like we watch things like Jungle Book and Pinocchio, they just last. I think the good stuff just lasts, and particularly like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Rescuers Down Under. I get a lot of people, Great Mouse Detective. I get a lot of people that remember almost everything, and it's really gratifying that it isn't such a period sort of a taste like, oh, well, that was great for 1988 or 89 or whatever, but now it's really dated. It doesn't seem like the really, really good movies are really dated. They seem to go from generation to generation. So it's really gratifying that some of those movies have the same effect on people that the stuff I grew up with did on me.
A lot of work goes into each frame of an animation. At some points, when you freeze frame in the movie and you see one particular frame that just looks extremely goofy with the mouth movements mid-thing, do you just look at that and just saying, this is just silly as all hell?
Well, when we're drawing it, we do that kind of stuff. I do exaggerated stuff for like one frame. I don't want people necessarily to see that one frame. They just have to sort of feel that something big happened. Like with his hair, when his hair gets fluffy. There's actually drawings of it way out here. It's like it explodes and then it comes back, but you don't really see that drawing. It's one frame. You just sort of feel that something kind of big happened, and then it settles into what it looks like. So when you're doing those wacky drawings, you're not really thinking that that one drawing is going to be seen. It's going to be more of a feeling of like, wow, something kind of big just happened there. But you don't want to call attention to that one drawing. But yeah, it's fun doing that stuff, and it's really fun to draw and exaggerate, and knowing that that's not actually no one's going to really see it, but it's just really fun to get to have that impact.
Well, now with technology, people will find those scenes and
now
just
they do, yeah. Well, even when I was a kid, we had Super 8 versions of some of the old Disney films, and we'd like stop frame them and see like a real stretch drawing. But I was trying to learn how to animate, so we were using that as like, oh wow, that I didn't even notice that in the film. It felt really cool, but I'm not really sure what it was. And then you go frame by frame, and then you see that one drawing that it's really exaggerated, like, wow, what was he thinking when he did that, So I used to use that, a lot of us did, to learn how to do it,
And nowadays, the classic types of films that you've worked on are very hard to find with Disney, and it's all computer generated. And do you think this is really hindering animation? I know it's a different type, but a lot of people are clamoring to the back of the old styles.
Right. I think that initially, like, CG seemed like a really fresh kind of new thing, and people like stuff that's new. So I think like the early Pixar films, they have so much depth, but also they were great movies. More importantly, they were great movies. It doesn't really matter how they were done. But I think that a lot of producers said, well, people don't want to see the hand-drawn stuff anymore. Well, the last few of those that were done didn't make very much money. I said, okay, no more hand-drawn. We're all going to do is go CG. But now it's kind of like sort of evened out where the CG movies don't necessarily make a lot of money. Now that's, again, it's the story. That's what really matters. So there are a lot of people, I hear people all the time come up to me and say, I miss the drawings. I want to see the drawings. It's more emotional to me to see the drawings and stuff. But there's a lot of us that are involved in trying to make more hand-drawn animation. It still exists, but as far as like in a big scale, like a feature, there are things. There are things in pre-production right now, in the planning stages, that I think you're going to see some stuff before too long, hand-drawn. And all it's going to take is one hit. Once these producers see one hand-drawn movie be a big hit, okay, you guys, where's the paper? Where's the pencils? Let's go. Get those computers in the warehouse. I mean, seriously, that's how they think. So they're reactionary. So I think it'll just take a couple of successes in 2D to make it have it come back. And I hope they coexist. I love CG stuff. I hope they can just coexist together. That'd be awesome.
And I think myself and a lot of people are included with that.
Yeah, well, that's nice to hear. I mean, I think there seems to be a lot of people that, the films they watched when they were little were hand drawn, and they want to see more of that. They want their kids to see that kind of stuff. So I mean, I think it's coming back. Who knows how big of a scale, but I think it's definitely going to make a comeback of some sort.
A lot of times, animators kind of go under the radar unless people are really big animation buffs. What kind of things are you people might not know you're working on currently and in the future?
I've worked on a lot of stuff outside of Disney and DreamWorks. I've worked for a lot of different studios. I've done other features. I've worked on music videos. I have a lot of musician friends, and I've worked in some of their videos, and big famous people too. But I've done commercials. Right now I'm working on a project called Medea's Kids, which is a Tyler Perry, the Tyler Perry Medea character. We're doing an animated version of that, and I'm doing some storyboards for that. So that's in the works. That looks really good. I really like how that's coming out. So, and there's other projects I'm involved. There's a couple other things coming up that I'm talking about, working on. So I'm lucky that I seem to keep finding stuff, or stuff finds me. And I keep busy. But I love to draw. I like to just keep drawing. So whether it's animating or doing storyboards or character designs, as long as I'm drawing, I'm happy. I'm very simple. I'm a very simple-minded person, so it doesn't take much to keep me happy.
Well, thank you very much for talking with us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the convention.
Thank you. I hope you guys enjoy it too, and it was fun talking to you.
That's it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.